Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto YAHAWAH, BaHa YAHAWASHI, QADASH, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. That honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning and supporting the ministry. Hey, can you let me know if the sound is coming through good? If not, I'll have to switch the mics. I'm just going to touch on this real quick because this guy Vocab, man, he's a funny dude. The man like a hamster on a wheel. Goodness gracious. THAWADAH. Yeah, this dude Vocab Malone is like a hamster. He won't give up, will he? Hey, I'll give him that. The guy's persistent in it. And you see, the thing is, man, the devil knows how to be persistent anyway. They know that if you repeat a lie long enough, people believe it. And that's what Christianity is. So he's just continuing on his forefathers' heritage of repeating a lie. And he never really because we debunk this guy all the time, and he never really addresses anything that we say. You know, and I'm watching this video, and he's basically trying to debunk our teaching that the curses of Deuteronomy 28 from the 15th verse down to the 68th verse apply to the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we show that Deuteronomy 28:68 is talking about the transatlantic slave trade, right? When Egypt, I've got it up here, Egypt is going into America, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All right. Deuteronomy 28:68, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the wherever I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, all right, which Esau, Edom is our enemy, for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, meaning no man is going to redeem you out of that condition. All right, it's the Heavenly Father that's going to deliver you, because when you go into the law, the ancient law, you got something called the kinsman redeemer. So one of your brethren could redeem you, but that wasn't going to be happening because we were just going to go into slavery and suffer that captivity. Now the Lord made a sacrifice 2,000 years ago and bought us back with a price, man. So the Lord himself is our redeemer. All right, because he sent his son to deliver us from this captivity. Now, the first part was the sacrifice that our Lord made 2,000 years ago. That is going to give the Lord the go-ahead in these last days to come and deliver us from this captivity and all the curses. As it is written, the Lord nailed the curse to the cross. All right, the redemption of sins that the Lord brought is going to remove these curses, and these curses apply to us. And the funny thing about it is, this man's doing all this, he's doing up, listen, this man spent hours reading up the Josephus, but where is the video where he's scrutinizing the so-called Jew according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28? Because according to the Bible, there's only two states that Israel can be in: a blessed state and a cursed state, right? If the Jews, we'll keep it like that. If the Jews are not keeping the law, then they're under the curse, right? Now, the so-called Jew, they're not Christian. They don't believe in who they call Jesus. So they're supposedly under the old covenant, right? And are they not breaking the laws? Yeah, they're breaking the laws. They're not keeping the laws perfectly. Okay, so should they be under the curses? Yes. Are they under the curses? No, they're not under the curses. But you see, he's not going to scrutinize those people. The same level of scrutiny he tries to apply to us, he wouldn't dare apply that to the so-called Jew, because one, he'd be cancelled, and two, he really don't mind the so-called Jew because they look like him. He got a problem with the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. He has a problem with us calling ourselves the chosen people because he's a so-called white supremacist. And that is against everything that he believes in. And that's all right. Now, when we go to Deuteronomy 28 and 45, it says here, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So these curses are going to be on our people until the Messiah delivers us. That's going to be the end of the curse. Now, Vocab, if you want to find out who are the Israelites, then all you need to do is, if we're saying the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the Israelites, compare us to the so-called Jew and see who fits these curses. But he won't do that. You know why he won't do that? Because when you compare it, you find out that wherever the so-called Jew goes, they are the elite of society. That's against the curses. Wherever they are the lenders. They're not the borrowers. That's against the curses. And we could go down a long list. The curses don't apply to these people. They apply to our people. But he don't want to do that. It's because he's not genuine. He's not a seeker of truth. He's just trying to propagate a narrative which is in line with his feelings, and making it look like he's some kind of scholar and he really putting in work. Fuck out of here. Now, in this video, according to him, he says Deuteronomy 28, the 20th chapter, has already been fulfilled twice in the Josephus. Okay, so why can't it be fulfilled a third time in the transatlantic slave trade? Do you see how the logic works? I'm just trying to show you the mind of the devil. He's going back into the Bible and he's finding all these different times when the curses were applied to Israel. And what he's trying to say is the curses only apply to Israel where it's recorded in the Bible. So that what he's trying to say is after because most of the recorded real-time history in the Bible is during the book of Acts. Right? So what he's trying to say is after that time period, the curses are no longer on the Israelite on the earth. It had to have been recorded by Josephus or in the Bible for the curses to be in effect. That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say Deuteronomy 28:68 can be fulfilled twice, but not a third time, according to him. Let me show you something, man. This man is the devil. Let me show you so-called white supremacy at its finest. Oh, hold on. You know, let me switch this mic. How do I change this mic?
We're at a port.
Right. Can you hear me still? Arkwafyam? I need to play this clip. Man. Let me show you how the devil works. Yeah. See, these guys think they're slick. They think they're smart, but they're not smart, man. We're Israelites, man. So our intelligence, IQ level is astronomical. You can't put nothing past us. And we're psychologists. Just let me know if or maybe. Okay, can't. Now listen to this dweeb, what he's about to say. So he's gone back into the Josephus, which is nothing more than recorded history. He's gone back into the Josephus, he's gone back into the book of Jeremiah, and through this whole thing, the only thing he's proved is that the curses can apply more than once. Because we know that during the book of Daniel's, they were under the curses. We know that they were under the curses in the Persian Empire. We know they were under the curses in the book of Judges. We know that the curses applied to Israel more than once. But he's trying to say, oh, it applied to Israel already, but it can't apply again. Why? Because we're saying it applies. But where he says it applies, it applies. Listen to this.
And guess what? The port is right outside of Alexandria. Alexandria's in Egypt, meaning even evidence was by ship. Now, there's more to say about Deuteronomy 28, but don't let them trick you as if that's where it has to be fulfilled. Sometimes they'll say, well, then why did transatlantic slave trade happen? My answer is what I think you should say. If you want to do something different, that's on you. I say, I don't know. Why
did So we can look at the transatlantic slave trade and say, look, that's our people, the Israelite people, under the curses, being trafficked by ship over to New Egypt, to spiritual Sodom and Egypt, where the book of Revelation say we would be, over to spiritual Sodom and Egypt to serve captivity. And this was a great event. This is one of the greatest events in modern history, right? We can say that, like, yeah, that's a fulfillment of the curses. But Vocab can't. He can't say that. And we can't say that. He just don't know. He ain't even saying it's not. He just saying, I don't know why it happened. I don't know these people. Why does it even matter why it happened? It's just evil because he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. And you know what? I don't care that he don't care. But I just want you to see the mind of the devil. What you're watching right now is a devil in operation. And all you so-called Negroes that's listening and following this guy, you don't understand the root of everything he's doing is he wants to be the authority. He's saying that we are not qualified to make this decision or to bring this information out or to make any kind of spiritual discernment. The only ones who are in authority to make spiritual discernments is the so-called white man. So if the so-called white man say it is, that's what it is. If he say he don't know, then nobody knows. Can you not see that? He's telling you that Deuteronomy 28:68 was fulfilled twice, and it's recorded in the Josephus. But we can't say that it's been fulfilled a third time because he don't know. Bomba clot. This is what we're dealing with. Just racist. Yeah?
Evil happened. Now, I can tell you generally, men and women are wicked. They've always enslaved each other. This is a more recent and awful iteration, no doubt about that, and long term, right? It's sustained. We're talking 400 or 500 years, depending on when you say.
He's admitting this is a very significant event in history, but he don't know. He just don't know. And you niggas don't know either because you're just niggas. You can't make that spiritual discernment. So if I'm telling you, I'm okaying the accounts in Josephus, that's what it's going to be. This is what we're dealing with, man.
We shouldn't deny that. But why? I can't tell you. Now, some people like to speculate. I don't personally.
So because Vocab Malone can't tell you, we can't tell you either because we're just black. And this is really what it comes down to, because he doesn't have any problem referencing these crackers that were racist, these crackers that were slave masters, these devils like what's his name, the Calvin. He don't have a problem going to Bible school and listening to the so-called white Christian scholars. But when it comes to us, anything we say has to be wrong and debunked. Fucking devil. Fuck this dude, man. Anyway. So look, man, fuck him. We got our breakdown, and if you don't want to believe the breakdown, that's on you. Go follow Vocab Malone innit and enjoy his shitty raps. Yeah, we were brought back into Egypt again, and he can't break this down. If you asked him, well, what's it talking about in Revelations 11:8? I don't know, but whatever they're saying is wrong because they are niggers. That's what he's gonna say. They're niggers, and they're lucky that I'm even allowing them to be Christians. This is Revelations 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. The word, we break it down. Dead bodies, meaning, we'll just go on World Star Hip Hop, and you know what it's talking about. He that wandereth out the way of understanding is in the congregation of the dead. Those are those dry bones it talks about in Ezekiel the 30th chapter. Israel in a dead state, a low and cursed state. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. What's that great city talking about? It's talking about America. America's that great city that we were brought to. And that is the center of it all. It's the center of the earth. It's the center of prophecy. It's the center of the ministry. It's no coincidence that this ministry is centered in Babylon, in Egypt, in America. It's all spiritual. But wait, I'm not allowed to say that because I'm not white enough. Yeah, and I don't have a degree from Trinity Bible College, which that degree don't mean shit. And I know this, I'll tell you one thing to do. I don't want to get too personal, but my grandmother is a fucking theology PhD. My grandmother is in the Christian world. My grandmother is more qualified than Vocab Malone because she's a PhD from them same stupid Bible schools. And I tell you for free, she got to listen to me. Over the years, you know how many times she's come to me and say, oh, you know what? You were right. You're damn right I was right because I was listening to the men of the Lord, the prophets. You ain't going to get the truth in them damn fucking seminary schools. To hell with this guy, man. I've seen, because I was there when she was studying, and I've seen the questions they write and what they have to do, and it's all bullshit, man. It's all nonsense. Absolute BS. Yeah, forget about all that crap. What a waste of money and time. Goodness gracious, man. Anyway, it says, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. And isn't America proving itself to be Sodom? Isn't America proving itself to be Sodom and Egypt? And where also our Lord was crucified, right? Because it's the spirit of the anti-Messiah is heavy in America. America is a giant talisman against the Lord. Why do you think they put the Novus Ordo Occlurum on the dollar? Because of this, America, if you really understand occultism and the elite, you would understand that America is ultimately a giant talisman for witchcraft and anti-Messiah energy. If you understand occultism, that country was literally built to be against the Most High and his son. And just look at Hollywood, look man, look at their corporations, look at their influence in the earth, and you'll understand what's really good. It is spiritual Sodom and Egypt, and guess what? It's going to get the same judgment that Sodom got, and it's going to go out in the same marvelous manner that Egypt did. If you have spiritual understanding, America's going to be destroyed, and the Israelites are going to be delivered out of it, and it's going to be a greater deliverance than what happened in ancient Egypt. And that's another thing. Jeremiah 16:16 speaks of a deliverance which is greater than Egypt, which means greater signs and wonders. Well, where is that in the Josephus? Vocab? You ain't going to do a video on that, are you? Oh, it's been fulfilled already. Where is the great... Hold on, let me get it. About Josephus. Look a pussy, old man. That's all he is. That's the worst thing about it. This dude is a little pussy. You know them ones, yeah? Like, I don't want to get personal, yeah, but you know Vocab, in one of them man there, that man was sent to the shop. You know one of them little pussios that just want to hang around and they want to be cool. So you just send them to the shop. You know what I'm talking about. You man them out there that are real man know what I'm talking about. You know that Donny that nobody really wanted him around, but you keep him around because you just sent him to the shop because you couldn't be bothered to walk there yourself. So you sent him to go pick up a dragon or go pick up something. That's who he is. He's just a little pussy, old man. That's the worst thing about it, man. You know them dons there that no one really invited out, like, but he just turned up somehow. You're like, how the hell did this dude get here? Because he's a pussy. Anyway, that's what I see this guy as. A real punk, man. Ain't nobody want to be around that guy for real. Dude, weird, he goofy. Ugh. Anyway, this is Jeremiah 16, right? We're going to start from verse 14. It says, therefore, behold, the days... Hey, where's it? You know, Trinidad, I call them golfers. Yeah, I am that, man. Fucking golfer. At that. Look a pussy, man. That's all he is. You know what I mean? Do you really think Vocab could really talk when big man I talk? That's why Christianity give these effeminate dudes space to talk, man. A guy like that shouldn't really be talking among men. A little dweeb like that. That guy like little, you know, you remind me of Smeagol. You know, one of them Smeagol dons, man. Just creepy looking, weak looking punk that don't add nothing to the team. Just send him to the shop. Go grab man a fucking Sprite or something and come back, man. And shut your mouth. And you know, you don't want to give him a turn on the PlayStation. You know, he's just waiting and nobody won't give him a turn because he's a pussy, yo. That's Vocab Malone, man. But anyway, Jeremiah 16 and 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Right? Now, has there been a greater deliverance than Egypt to this point in 2022? Was the deliverance from Babylon, or the deliverance from the Maccabees, right? The Maccabees were somewhat delivered, albeit it wasn't the whole nation, because remember, the whole nation was in Egypt, and the whole nation was delivered. The Maccabees was a portion of the nation, but was the deliverance during the time of the Maccabees greater than that of Egypt? No. Was there greater signs and wonders done during the time of the Maccabees than there was in Egypt? Okay, I'll put it this way. If anybody knows of a greater deliverance than Egypt right now, put it in the comment board and we'll read it. Even if it's in the Josephus, whatever if you know of a greater deliverance other than that of Egypt, with greater signs and wonders that had the whole world shook up and marveling, where man don't even want that smoke, I beg you, put it in the comment board. Yeah? Put it in the comment board and we'll read it, because I'm open to it. Maybe I've not read it before. So if any of you brothers, anyone, Vocab, if you're watching, put it in. Where is it? Because you seem to know where everything was fulfilled, right? Show me where Jeremiah 16 and 14 was fulfilled. A greater deliverance than that of Egypt. Show me. I'm here. Come on. I'll be waiting. Yeah? But I don't believe you will find that. I think you'll find that the great deliverance will be from Babylon the Great, because the righteous are scarce going to make it. Because the Lord's going to plague America as before, as he plagued Egypt with pestilence and all these things. And then the Lord is going to pelt it with fire from heaven and thermonuclear destruction. And the elect are going to be delivered out of that. And the earth is going to shake and all of that. We got videos on it. Just type in the destruction of America or the destruction of Babylon the Great, GMS, and you're going to see videos us bringing out the prophecies of that great destruction and great deliverance that the Lord is going to do. And that deliverance is going to eclipse the deliverance in Egypt. Given that it's also going to be a permanent salvation as well. Because once Israel is delivered from Babylon the Great, from this last captivity, there won't be no more captivities after that. You understand what I'm trying to say? But you see, my man Vocab now, all them little clapping seals in the crowd, they're prophetically illiterate. They lack the understanding of prophecy. So when he's up there pontificating about Jeremiah, none of them will, well, hold on, but you're saying it's all been fulfilled, but what about Jeremiah 16? They don't know nothing about Jeremiah 16 and 14. Even Vocab himself, he don't like dealing with he said it himself. He don't like dealing with the eschatology. You know why? Because once you start cornering them on their eschatology, they get twisted up. It's like trying to write time travel into a movie. It's very difficult. You end up messing yourself up. They can't do it. Only the prophets understand this eschatology, and we could bring it down without no plot holes. It makes sense. What these guys teach can never make sense. Little pussy hole, but he's gonna stand up there acting like pontificating on the damn on an altar, trying to teach people like he knows something. You don't know a damn thing. Yeah. It says, but the Lord liveth that brought the children of Israel from the land of the north. What north land is that talking about? and from all the lands. So this deliverance that it's talking about, Israel ain't just going to be delivered from one land. Israel's going to be delivered from wherever they are in the world. When did that happen? And I beg you don't try and tell me 1948, because man, I get vexed out here. Because 1948 weren't no deliverance. The Lord didn't set up no 1948. You see me? That wasn't the deliverance of the 12 tribes of Israel from the four corners of the earth. Let's not play no games. That ain't it, brother. Yeah, then the Messiah didn't turn up and deliver no ones. Yeah, so let's not play no games. Yeah, it ain't happened yet. We're waiting for it to happen. But that doesn't fit into their goofy Christianity, and that's why they're trying to sideline it and then try and demean us and make us look like we're some joke man. Nah, you're the joke man. Taking the piss, man. Anyway, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, right? And from all the lands whither he hath driven them, and will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. So guess what? That don't add up to Christianity either, because everybody ain't of the fathers, are they? Are they, you little punk? See, Christianity is trying to say it's open to everyone. The Bible just said the people that are going to go back into the land, they have to have a lineage going back to the fathers. So that's exclusive. That's not inclusive. That's not talking about humans. So that kind of cuts this whole Gentile business that this pussy is talking about. But you see, when we bring up these points, you know what's going to happen? The little pussy-os are going to ignore it and then just try and repeat the same goofy breakdowns that already been debunked and make no sense. And we're meant to sit here and just give up and just fade away. No, we ain't going to fade away. Punk. Tell you what else is going to happen. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. Right? That's what's happening now with the ministry. This ministry is fishing. Just like 2,000 years ago, this is part 2. Yeah? You know, like when you got a movie, you got a part 1, part 2. Well, this is part 2 of the ministry. And they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters. Yeah? I wonder what the hunters them are on. And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. For mine eyes are open all their ways, they are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. And that's talking about the wicked of our people. The wicked of our people ain't going to make it this time. All the sinners of our people shall die by the sword. But the elect are going to be delivered. Yeah? So, that's the point on that Jeremiah. Now, where was I? Did I want to go back over here? Yeah, so listen, this guy, Vocab Malone, he's a clown. And like I said, he don't know nothing, man. Oh, I don't know, you know. Shut up. Anyway, I wanted to touch on this thing here. Ephesians 2, the Hebrew Israelite kryptonite. Listen, you pussy-o. The only kryptonite that Israelites have is sin. Yeah, and the Lord overcame sin. Right? So you ain't got nothing against us. The scripture says we overcame you, the devil, the accuser. We overcame you through the blood of YAHAWASHI and the word of the testimony. So really, there ain't no kryptonite against the elect because the Lord decryptonited us. Yeah, the elect are going to be delivered. Point blank period. There's nothing, your lies, your deceit, your poison, your gun, nothing you got can come up against the elect. Because the Lord already confirmed it. Our kryptonite ain't no the scriptures. The scriptures are with us. How you gonna come to us with the scriptures, brother? When you know that the scriptures is for us, bro. What's wrong with you? Are you mad? How you gonna bring Ephesians when the book of Ephesians was written for our edification, and you're gonna come with Ephesians to do what? This guy's mad, right? But I ain't even gonna play this video. But what I'm gonna do?
Listen.
Let's get rid of this ad real quick.
Very simple. I don't like making fancy ads. If you want to make money online, I will give you a piece of my business. We make the word.
Right. I ain't even gonna deal with this because I'm not gonna listen to this bullshit. Cause I already know he's singing them CM all set of floors. It's nothing new. Oh, the Gentiles. To the you guys have no understanding. Well, let's break it down. The book of Ephesians was written by Paul to the Gentiles, right? Okay. Same with the book of Corinthians, right? Okay. Same with the book of Galatians, right?
Okay, what happened when Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles? Agreed. Okay, Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles. All right, cool. When Paul was martyred, who took up the mantle to communicate with the churches of the Gentiles? Was it not Peter? Okay, cool. When you go to the book of Peter, what did Peter say? Yeah? And he never addressed this. The book of Peter's, where is it? The book of Peter's, First Peter's, the first chapter. The book of Peter's 1:1, it says, Peter, an apostle of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, to the strangers, right, scattered, the diaspora of the Jews throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, right? Now, and I did a video on it, even the scholars that this guy loves admitted that the book of Peter's was written to Israelites, right? And the book of Peter's is written to those same Gentile churches that Paul was writing to, meaning they were Israelites. These Gentiles that Paul were writing to were strangers scattered, meaning they were Israelites living in foreign lands. Yeah? This is actually known. This is not something this is known. It's just they ignore it. He conveniently wants to ignore it. And I got the video here. Let me get the video because I'll put it in a hold on. Who is it this? Right, so you can go to this, who are the Gentiles? And you can check these videos here. So when you go on my channel, go to the playlist, Who Are the Gentiles? And you can watch the video, Peter's epistles was written to all Christians. In fact, we might watch that together. And then you can also go make sure you watch the book of Peter's, Searching for Context. Watch that too, if you ain't watched it, right? And also watch Gentiles or Israelites, the book of Peter's Controversy. And that's the main one. And in that video, basically, I show you that the scholars have a problem because they admit that the book of Peter's had to have been written to Israelites, but it was written to the Gentiles churches that Paul was writing to, meaning those were Israelites, man. Those Gentiles that Paul were teaching, they were Israelites. They were Israelites that were scattered among the Gentiles and had been assimilated. Look up that word, assimilated among them, and they were being brought back into the fold, which is exactly what we teach, right? And his own scholar, what's his name? That he says he leans towards, which is what's his name? Why am I forgetting this guy's name? Calvin, because he's a Calvinist, right? Calvin, he believed that the book of Peter's was written to Israelites. So if the book of Peter's was written to Israelites, then who was the book of Ephesians written to if they were written to the same people? Use your brain, use logic. If the book of Peter's was written to Israelites, and Peter was writing, he was taking up the mantle of being the apostle to the Gentiles after Paul had been martyred, then who were the Ephesians? Who were the Galatians? Who were the Corinthians that Paul was writing to? They were also Israelites because they were writing to the same people. So check them videos out. And like I said, Vocab Malone ain't going to address this. He can't address it. He can go into the Josephus and claim the curses have been fulfilled twice and 3 times, but not 4 times, apparently. It's impossible. But he can't address that, man. He can't, can he? Yeah?
Oh, Salaka, before we even get there, you know what I always do? I go to these commentaries because we can get some information. Right, so what I did, you know how I always do. I like to get these Christian scholars to put their foot in their mouth.
And let me say this too. Certain times when you go into certain prophecies and you go to these Bible commentaries, certain times these Bible scholars, especially when you go into the Old Testament commentary, they tell the truth.
They say things that we say, right? But what the problem is that when they get to the New Testament, they try and change it and ignore what was written in the Old Testament in order to push the Christian narrative. But a lot of times when you go into the David Guzik commentary in Isaiah 45, they'll tell you, yeah, Israel, it's a salvation for Israel. But then when we say it, because we're not got the right skin color, and my nose is a bit, I know that I inherited that my grandfather's nose, innit? It's a mad nose. So because I got a certain type of nose and it's a bit mad, it's moving a bit orbital, then obviously nothing I say can be credible. I gotta look like John Calvin, and then I'm credible, right? I gotta be some racist Edomite, then I could be credible. But let's listen up.
Hold up the Bible commentary for 1 Peter's 1:1, right? David Guzik, much more well-respected Christian scholar than Vocab Malone will ever be.
And that's a good point. David Guzik is a big man in Christianity compared to little Vocab Malone. Yeah, Vocab Malone got to go learn from David Guzik. And even David Guzik is going to tell you something right now. And what's Vocab going to do about it? He ain't going to challenge David Guzik, is it? He too white.
Just a rapper and a wannabe comedian. Wannabe rapper, wannabe comedian. He ain't no real scholar. Right? Now, it says, Peter, an apostle of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, to the pilgrims of the dispersion in Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. So I'm going to jump down to what he says here. And it's very damning. And he's going to try and run some damage control. So it says, when it concerns the pilgrims of the dispersion, which is the churches, yeah? Peter clearly wrote to Gentiles. Let's read that again. It says, Peter clearly wrote to Gentiles. We see, because the problem that these scholars are having is they have taught everyone that the Gentiles that Peter and Paul were writing to were not Israelites. Yeah, when you're talking about the book of Ephesians, the book of Corinthians, the book of Galatians, people's like, oh yeah, Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles. Those were other nations, right? And so, but this book of Peter's puts a spanner in that, because they have to say, they cannot say it wasn't. It's difficult for them. They don't know which way to go with it, because on one hand, it's clear that he's talking to people who are outside of the Commonwealth of Judea. But on the other hand, he still called them Israelites. So which one was it? So it says, Peter clearly wrote to Gentile Christians. See 1 Peter's 1:18, 2:10, and 4:3. So those verses in Peter's, which we read 1:18, and we're going to read 2:10, those verses clearly separate and identify the audience of Peter's letters as people who were not practicing Jews. Yeah, they were not part of Judea. They weren't wearing fringes. They didn't have birth records. They didn't keep the Sabbath on the Sunday. These were bona fide Hellenists, bona fide Gentiles in the way that they were out there. You get me? They were wearing togas, fam, with Greek names. Clear as day. 1 Peter's 1:18 proves that. 2:10 and 4:3. Let's carry on. Yet he called them pilgrims of the dispersion. Translation, yet he says that they are dispersed Israelites. They are of the diaspora. Now,
Yep. So how does that work? How can the audience of Peter be pilgrims of the dispersion, but not Jews at the same time? Because they're Israelites, but they weren't a part of the Judean structure. They were aliens to the Commonwealth. Do you see exactly what we teach? That these people were Israelites, but they were outcasts. They were scattered. They were in a Gentile state of mind. Yeah?
Goofy Christian, that would short circuit their brain. But for us, it doesn't short circuit our brain at all. Because we understand that, yeah, these Gentiles are Israelites dispersed among the Gentiles who are following Gentile customs. We don't short circuit. It says a name that was applied to Jews. You see? He called them this because he saw the Christians of his day as sprinkled through the world as the Jewish people were in the dispersion after the fall of Jerusalem when the Babylonians conquered Judah. No, he called them that because those Christians were Jews that were scattered, not only from the Babylonian captivity, but also from the time of the Hellenistic period. Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. These specific areas were places Christianity had extended in the first several decades after the beginning of the church. It was probably the route that the original courier of Peter's letter followed in distributing the letter. Listen to this now. Listen to this. Listen, me.
Lord.
This was not written to any one congregation, but intentionally written to all Christians. Let me read that again.
Ooh.
Let me read that again.
Yeah, Vocab, you done. You've been
Let me
done.
read that again.
You've been.
Remember John Calvin? Hold on. Let's see what John Calvin, Vocab, he down bad.
Down bad.
Yeah. This is too sweet. Let's see what John Calvin had to say about Peter's audience. Let's read this again. Please, please.
Down
Bear
bad.
with me. It might seem repetitive, but we got to drive this one home. We really got to drive this one home. Okay? This is John Calvin, and I quote, "They who think that all the godly are thus called because they are strangers in the world, are advancing towards the celestial country, are much mistaken. And this mistake is evident from the word dispersion, diaspora, which immediately follows, for this can apply only to Jews." Let me read that again.
Yo, your boy Calvin. See, and Vocab ain't addressed this. Your boy John Calvin confirmed that the book of Peters could only have been written to Israelites. And then all the rest of the scholars will let you know that the book of Peters was intended for all Christians, which means all the Christians were actually Israelites that were scattered. But Vocab ain't gonna address this, man. He gonna run and hide and you know, do videos about some random Hebrew Israelite doing some crime somewhere. When we could do that, I could pull up Christians committing crimes, and it would be no end. The prison system is filled full of Christians. That's the number one religion. They go in there and convert to Islam. What the fuck is he talking about, man? Anyway, let's keep going.
Peter,
Let's hear that again.
what's the celestial? This is John Calvin, and I quote, "They who think that all the godly are thus called because they are strangers in the world, are advancing towards the celestial country, are much mistaken. And this mistake is evident from the word dispersion, diaspora, which immediately follows, for this can apply only to Jews."
Ooh.
Let me read that again. Peter, in beginning his letter, right, referenced the audience of his letter as only being Jews. Let's read it again. We have to read it. John Calvin, people. "And this mistake is evident from the word dispersion, which immediately follows, for this can apply only to Jews." So here it is. John Calvin is confirming that the book of Peters was written only to Jews. And then over here, David Guzik, hold on, where's Guzik at? Yo, I'll go on. David Guzik is confirming that the letter was written to all Christians. This was written to all of the Christians that were scattered.
Or,
so all the Christians that were scattered were Jews.
Or okay.
Am I reading this wrong? Someone tell me if I'm reading this wrong.
No, you're right, brother.
The Christians, all these different churches, Galatia, Ephesians, Peter was writing to these people. and he called them Jews. He called them Israelites. Bruv. Yeah? So, it's over, really. I mean,
yeah, it's over. It's been over. And like I said, Vocab Malone has not addressed any of this. And he won't. He won't. You know, he won't. And that's just it, man. And, you know, so why am I even going to address his video about Ephesians? Why am I going to do this? It's done. We've already proven that the book of Ephesians was written to Israelites, scattered. What do I need to address? Why am I going to sit here and listen to this man talk? We've already proven. It's your scholars that you look up to admit, yep, these are Israelites. So we ain't really got nothing to discuss. You got to go address John Calvin. You got to go address David Guzik. You got to go deal with them guys. Don't deal with us. All right? But he ain't going to do that. He's a clown, man. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because I see that he trying to do a little thing. He trying to do a little something, but it's weak sauce, man. And at the end of the day, we're going to leave it like this. Let's get this, man, because Vocab, you weak, man. Yeah, you real weak. No. Right, this is John the 10th chapter and 27. It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man, right? Even though Vocab is half a man, we'll upgrade him to a man status for now to apply this scripture, because he's only half a man. He's a real pussy, He ain't no real man. You can tell you're a real pussy in real life. But despite his transgender nature, we're gonna apply manhood to him. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. So all what you're doing, the only man any man that will listen to Vocab is a pussy anyway. Let me just say it like that. If you listen to Vocab, then you know what, man? You can't par anyway, because Vocab is a proper pussy. So, like, if you think that guy is legitimate and someone that you need to be listening to and taking spiritual knowledge from, then boy, that just means you're not of the elect. Simple as that, because the elect ain't gonna follow a guy like that. The elect ain't gonna follow no one, but those which are set up in the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Simple as that. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. So if you think that you're going to get the elect to turn away from the true doctrine and start following you or any of these other goofy Christians, then you out of your mind, bro. You're out of your mind. Only a goofy will follow a goofy, innit? Simple as that. And the elect ain't goofy. The Lord removed the goofiness. All right, so I just wanted to touch on that. Like I said, you want to get more edification on the Gentiles. I got a few playlists, man. I might as well start plugging up these playlists, man, if you ain't ready. Check out the Who Are the Gentiles playlist. There's hours of edification there for you. If you're still shaky on who the Gentiles are, that are receiving salvation in the New Testament, then go check out that playlist. And you can also, I got another good playlist called And They Shall Be My People. And check this playlist out, man. If you ain't watched these videos, this is good edification in regards to the chosen people, the Lord, and the prophetic narrative throughout the Bible, man, the context. Yeah. Hours and hours of edification on how Israel is the chosen people and shall be the chosen people and shall be delivered. So check them two playlists out if you ain't Also, you can check out this playlist here, Israel and the Church, Bad to the Bone playlist, breaking down who the real church is again. You know, check if you ain't if you're not strong on them topics there around concerning who the real church is and Israel and you know the Gentiles and all that stuff, then check out Hours of Edification, man. Hours, man. You know that, cause that's how we do it out here in Great Millstone, man. We don't play. We gon' season it up and marinate it up the proper way still. And my man Salvation Elect just dropped that link. Listen, man, respect, brother. Man, just drop the link there. Made it easy for you as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't even gonna spoon feed it like that, but the brother made it easy through the spirit, so it ain't even hard. Just click the link and you're gonna get that edification, because that's what we're here for. But yeah, bun Vocab Malone all day, every day. He ain't got nothing to say. He a real clown. All right, and we're moving on, man. So till the next video, man. Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahawah Sham, YAHAWASHI, man. The Lord gave us this truth. It's the Lord's truth. It don't belong to us. The Lord give it to us as a gift, and we gotta spread it out there and let our light so shine, man. So all Kal Halal, Yahawah Sham, YAHAWASHI, to him and the Son go the glory, man. Because it's them. It's not us. We're just vessels to bring this forward. You know, shalom to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning. Shalom.